Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Wednesday, June 15th, 2011. We're in Matthew chapter 26, and we're moving toward the crucifixion of our Lord. Reading in verse 1, When Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said to his disciples, You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be delivered up to be crucified. Then the chief priests and the elders of the people gathered in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, and plotted together in order to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. But they said, Not during the feast, lest there be an uproar among the people. So Jesus tells his disciples that he's going to be delivered and killed, crucified. And then you've got the chief priests and the elders all gathering in the palace of the high priest. So these are the top religious leaders in Israel. And they're all meeting together. And they got one subject. They got one agenda during this meeting. And that's how they're going to kill Jesus. See? How they're going to arrest him and kill him. So they're plotting the scheme. Now, there's an interesting little phrase here in the English Standard Version in verse 4. It says, by stealth. I think in the NIV it says in secret or something like that. And it means the same thing. See, when Satan operates, he operates in darkness. He hates light. And so Satan is in effect here. Satan has gotten hold of these gentlemen's minds and hearts, and they want to crucify God's own Son. So they're going to do it in secret. Now, remember, I want to just go to a verse. I don't do this very often. Go to a corollary verse. Look in John chapter 3. Here's what Jesus says about light and darkness. Of course, the most famous verse in the Bible is John 3:16, but he says something just a few verses later. He says in verse 19, And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. So people that are trying to do things for God love light, love exposure, love having everybody know what they're doing. People that want to do things for Satan hate light, love darkness, don't want anybody to know what they're doing. And I believe we've missed this a lot. And we don't understand what a powerful thing it is to shine the big spotlight on people. And to shine it on what they're doing. And to shine it on sin. And we need to do this with our brothers and sisters. The more we expose them, Satan runs away. It's a good thing. So when you shine a big light of truth on your brother or sister, you expose them, and you're going to expose some good things, and you're going to expose some bad things maybe. Well, that's good, because you can encourage them on the good things you expose, and you can rebuke the bad things, and we can get them out of their life, and this is how we grow. But so many of us want to stay in darkness, and we don't ever want to tell anybody what we're doing. We don't want anybody to know what we're doing, and we can just avoid those conversations that expose anything. And I'll tell you something else we do. We have spiritual truces. I won't ask you what's going on in your life. You don't ask me what's going on in my life, and we can keep it in the dark. Well, guess who loves that? That's right. Satan loves that. So let's bag that, as my old buddy Terry Folker would say. Bag that, and let's start exposing the truth in each other's lives. So we don't end up like these religious, prideful leaders that wanted to do everything in the dark and ended up crucifying Jesus, and we'll read how they did it later, and it's obviously the work of Satan. Okay? Come back tomorrow. Much more encouraging passage tomorrow. Much more uplifting. Don't have too many of them left because we are getting to the crucifixion, but we got one tomorrow on the next edition of Take 5.